Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Program 6 Mortgage Calculator Test Case Write-Up Help. Let's take a look at our test cases. We have two of them. Borrow $100,000 for 30 years at 5%. Borrow $250,000 for 15 at 3.8%. We're going to do the hand calculations for the first case. There are two more items listed here. And these I think you can do without my help. Find two mortgage calculators on the web and plug in these numbers. Use them to double check your math and report the URL of the websites. Also write a brief explanation why the interest cannot be zero. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start on test case number 1. And the main part about these test cases is they're kind of a bugger to code. However, we're not coding today. We are calculating. Here is the equation that we're going to use for calculations. M is the monthly payment. Okay. I is the interest rate in whole numbers. Like 5%. And that's not a capital I, thank you very much. Okay. N equals the number of years for the mortgage. And Q equals the number of payments per year, which equals 12. We're just going to use that default number. Okay, so calculating this equation is no small task. I am going to start it from the inside out and break it into a lot of parts. So let's look at this way. The numerator is going to be equal to the principal times the interest rate. Now, in our calculation, the interest rate is not the same as it is input in whole numbers. We use it in decimals. So that's going to be, the numerator is going to be, the principal is 100,000 times the interest rate, which is 5 divided by 100. And that's going to give us 5,000. 5 divided by 100 is 0.05, and 0.05 times 100,000 is 5,000. So that's the numerator of our equation. Now, to work on the denominator, I'm going to take part 1, and I'm going to start on the inside right here. I'm going to do this part. 1 plus I over Q is going to be equal to 1 plus, now this I is 5 over 100. So that's 0.05 divided by 12. That's actually the monthly interest, okay? And that equals 1 plus 0.0042. So that equals 1.0042. Okay. Part 2 then is going to be equal to, the next step is taking it to this power. So that's going to be, it's going to be part 1 to the power of minus NQ, minus NQ. Minus NQ equals, N is the number of years, and that's going to be 30, and times 12. So that's going to be minus 360. So we need part 1, which is 1.0042 to the power of minus 360. And that equals, and I should put that this is part 2. And that equals 0.22. Okay, so now I've gotten this part 1. I'm done, sorry, right here. So part 3 is going to be subtracting it from 1 and multiplying. So that actually is going to give me the denominator. Is going to be equal to 1 minus part 2, and is going to be all of that times Q. And that's going to be equal to 12 times 1 minus 0.22 equals, and that's going to equal 9.36. So monthly payment is going to be numerator divided by denominator equals, where are we? 5,000 divided by 9.36, and that's going to be equal to, oops, I spelled denominator wrong. There we go. And that's going to be equal to 534.19. So the monthly payment will be $534.19. Okay, the next thing we're going to, now when you calculate this, the actual number will depend on how many decimal places you carry. I've carried only 2. When this runs in the computer, if it's a double, it's going to carry, what, 15, and if it's a float, it will carry 7. So your final number may be a little different. Not a lot, but a little. Okay, so that's the first part. That is part A that we have just completed. And let's go on to part B. And that is to calculate the total interest that will be paid for the life of the loan. Oh, well, okay, so how much is the total interest? That's kind of hard to decide, isn't it? However, we can do this. We can say that the total interest is going to be equal to the total amount of the loan paid over the entire period minus the principal. Because after all, there isn't anything else but interest. We aren't calculating things like taxes and insurance. We're just calculating the mortgage interest. So total loan paid is going to be equal to the monthly payment times 12 months in a year times 30 years. And that's how much money you're going to pay on $100,000, which is going to be $534.19 times 12 times 30 for a grand total of $192,308.40. $192,000. So that's what? Almost twice as much as your principal. So that tells us that the total interest is equal to $192,308.40 minus $100,000, which is pretty simple there, $92,308.40. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Let's try part C, which is going to be calculate the start date and the end date of the loan. Okay, well, let's pick a day for the start date. Let's say it's April Fool's. What better date than that? Okay, so start date equals April 1, 2017. That means that the month for starting is going to be 4. The day for starting is going to be 1. And the year for starting is going to be 2017. Well, that was easy. The end date is, and I've got this straight out of the spec so I don't get it right. The end date of the loan is the last day of the loan or the last day of the month for the last month of the loan in the last year of the loan. Okay, so the last year of the loan, so that will be year end, is going to be 2017 plus 30, which is going to be 2047. Okay, so far so good. The month ending is going to be the same month that it starts in, which will be 4. And the day ending will be the last day, and the last day of April is the 30th. Okay, so we have completed our test cases. It wasn't so bad once we broke down our calculations. I will leave the rest to you, and I will see you in the help for coding the program. Bye.